Okay, so my name's Mark Jensen. I am the broker owner of Mod Realty, also a real estate coach, a follow-up boss, expert and admin in the follow-up boss group, and also a YLOPO ambassador and expert on that as well. So what I wanted to talk today about is standing out from the crowd. I think, if we look at just straight some statistics about realtors, um, overall, if you look at it, like it's the 80-20 rule, like 80% of realtors aren't very successful. It's the 20% that make 80% of all the money. Um, and I think getting into this business, and I've seen it over and over again, is most new agents that come in, they go to the brokerage, they talk to other realtors that are in the brokerage, and the reality is the brokers that are in the brokerage in the office are probably not the most successful ones. If they're successful, they're being really busy. They usually have their own offices and they don't really have that much time to be sharing and talking to other agents about what is working and what isn't working. So, just from how do we learn? We learn from other agents and we do what they've been doing, which hasn't been very successful. So we just keep perpetuating this over and over again where um, we're just not being unique or different or anything standing out. So Mary, in our market, in Treb, there's 97,000 realtors, which, and last year we sold less than 60,000 homes. So that means there's more than 30,000. And if you do the numbers, it's about 52% of all the realtors sell one or less properties a year. And if you go through those stats even more, the difference to get to like 7 or 8 deals in a year, you're in the top 5%, which is crazy that only 5% of the realtors are doing at 5 deals or more. And obviously our market's a little bit different than it is in Florida. Our average price here is about 3 times the average price it is in Florida. So for every one deal, it would be like doing 3 deals in the US, especially in Florida. So, um, yeah, so what I want to talk about today is like, what is it and what things can we do to make us stand out and be a little bit more successful than that 80%, really? What can we do to get into the 20%? So I'm going to just share some slides here. I didn't go back to the first one. So let's talk about how we can stand from the crowd. And so the overall agenda is going to be, I'm going to talk a little bit about our paradigm, and then why should we be different, and then how can we be different, and then we can do some questions and answers at the very end. Okay, so what is a paradigm, right? That's a paradigm is a set of rules really that controls the way we think and the way we act. And paradigms are set from a very young age. That most of our paradigms are set from our parents, but then also through schooling and through time learning about how do we react and how do we work within the environment that we're in. So it's a fundamental model. It's a framework and a set of assumptions that shapes how individuals or groups perceive and understand and interact with the world around them. So if you talk about some big paradigms like in history, right? So, just look at the Industrial Revolution. That totally changed people's paradigms. How we traveled when we moved from horse and carriage to automobiles. There's a whole paradigm shift that has to happen because if you were stuck in that old norm and didn't change your paradigm, you would get left behind. And especially if you look in the last even 5 to 10 years, the amount of changes, and especially now in the US with the new NAR rules, that's a whole paradigm shift. And how we react to that will help us determine our success. So lots of people just don't want to change or are afraid of change, and they think of it as a negative. My viewpoint is always, what can we do to leverage the changes? The changes are inevitable and we need to adapt to them, but how can we use them in our advantage? Knowing that at least 80% aren't going to get there, and it's going to take them a long time. So, what's happened in NAR with the buyer representation agreement and commission happened, Mary, here in Ontario, we went through the same thing in December. And I remember rolling it out to my brokerages and talking to other broker owners, and people were just like losing their mind. They were so absolutely freaked out about what was going to change. I knew this was coming in August of last year. So we had already started preparing. And the first thing I did with all my agents was talk about paradigm shift. This is going to be a fundamental paradigm shift to how we run our business, and we can take advantage of it. So our model has always been that we had signed buyer representation agreements prior to ever doing anything for a client. So before we're doing any showings. So how do we be different? Like, why would somebody, and this is what's happening in the US, people just don't want to sign. We're still seeing it. I don't want to sign. Well, but okay, if you don't sign, I can't show you a house. I can't give you any advice. But how do we attract and get them to understand? And it's by creating value. So ultimately, we need to create something unique and something different than every other realtor. So when we're calling leads or trying to book appointments, we frame the appointment into a 5 to 10 minute, or sorry, 10 to 15 minute Zoom call or in person to really nail down what their home buying criteria is. Because we can then help them find properties even before they come on the market, or at least within our database, because we have a very large database of buyers that have homes to sell. So if we understand and we're providing these leads with a reason to meet with us, that's when we can meet with them and go through a buyer representation agreement. And in that buyer representation agreement, again, you need to provide them something different than what everyone else offers. So one of the things that we always offer, it's only as an objection handling, not given out right away, is we offer a cancellation guarantee. So if you're not happy at any time, up until the day we put an offer in for you, you can cancel this agreement, no questions asked. That's an objection. You don't want to offer that if they've, if they've already agreed to sign, or you're not having any objections through the process of getting a representation agreement signed. But having that as a tool, certainly, because when we're going through the presentation, we don't even ask them about signing. We talk about all the things that we have as an advantage, things that we do different, that we can find them properties that are off market. There's some guarantees that I'll touch base on. I'm not going to go deep on them, but one of the guarantees that we offer all our buyers is a satisfaction guarantee, that if they're not happy in their home that they've purchased with us within 18 months, we'll sell it for free. So, and what the clients love that so much, because how we phrase it is, look, our goal isn't to sell you a house. Our goal is to make sure you find a house that you're going to be happy with. So we're going to spend the time to understand what your needs are. What are you trying to achieve? What are your goals? We spend more time talking about their goals than the actual house. The house is the easy part. Finding the house is the easy part. Trying to understand why they're moving, what are they trying to achieve, that's going to help you ensure you find them the best property possible. So just give me 1 sec here. So how do we changing our paradigm in all of this? It's a context of personal development and training. So you need to acknowledge that things are changing, or that I need to be different. And this only becomes a habit after doing it over and over and over again. So they always say, if you've done anything 90 times, it becomes a habit, because the paradigm is in our subconscious. More often than not, we're responding to social cues or responding to our environment based on a set of paradigms that have already been embedded. But once you can bring it to your conscious and be aware of it and think about it all the time, that's when you can push that back. And I would say the same thing When I'm looking at, so if I just take a look at my agents and they're making phone calls and trying to book an appointment. So we have a tool now that actually analyzes their phone calls, and I can track how many times when they're meeting or making phone calls that they actually even ask for an appointment. And when we first started tracking the data through AI, they were only asking 20% of the time. We're now up to 45% of the time. I still think there's a little bit further to go with that. But what is it? It's fear. It's fear of rejection. You don't want to ask for something because they're going to say no. And look, this is a primal fear. Everybody has it. Like, to say that, oh, I'm not going to be afraid of it, that's not true. Everybody has it. It's a primal, innate fear in us. The difference is that you have to be aware that it's going to happen to you. You're going to feel it. You're going to let it go. It's irrational. I'm going to go forward. That's the difference. Like, you need to have that mindset where that you feel it. You can feel the fear. You know, you don't want to ask. You're being hesitant. It's irrational. I'm going to ask, what's the worst they're going to say? No. Do I know this person? No. I'm dealing with people that I don't know. I want a chance to work with somebody. So yeah, that's a trick to help change your paradigm, but also help with fears as well, because you need to acknowledge it. It's there, and it's the fear of change. That's what a paradigm is about as well. So what's the vision is to be a realtor that stands out from the crowd, right? To be that 1 in 100 realtors that, that, or even 5 out of 100, that 95 of the realtors are pretty much going to say the exact same thing in a buying presentation or a listing presentation or in their marketing. So mind shift changes the emphasis on to the importance of shifting the mindset. So it has to be a growth oriented, empowered mindset. So it involves replacing your negative thoughts and just focusing on the positive, constructive changes and repetition. So it's okay to be doing things that you're afraid of. And you'll get over it. It's going to take time, but acknowledge that the fear's there. It's okay, but you need to push through it. So that's what we just talked about: repetition and consistency, just doing it over and over and over again, and a commitment. You need to commit to it. And I always believe if you write it down, that's a huge cue. The act of writing actually embeds it into your brain. So, writing some things down from this meeting, I'll send you the notes, and I'll send you a little bit of information after. During the meeting, it's okay to take some notes. Also, if you have any questions in this, just raise your hand and we can always stop. We're not a big crowd, so I don't mind unmuting us and we can have a conversation, or save it to the end. So look, 69% of homeowners don't use the same realtor again. That's a crazy fact. How can we run a business when we're losing 69% of our clients? So in our brokerage, the term past client is a swear word. We only have long-term clients. So that, again, just that simple thing is a mind shift, is that these clients are clients for life, and we're going to create raving fans, because that's what helps generate the business as well. So why do people not go back? So they're pretty simple reasons. Like, if you think about it, the number one is poor communication, overpromised and underdelivered, promised a selling price that's not close to reality, promised a speed of sale, were less experienced than whatever they showed or presented. They wasted a lot of time showing homes that they weren't qualified for. They left out critical information within the deals or about the house. They had a lack of professionalism. They're hard to get a hold of. They didn't market my home properly or showed my home, which, that's setting those expectations up front as well. Like, the reality is, it's a rare thing that we're going to be showing our own client, right? So, especially in our market, there's 90,000 agents. The chance that we're going to be showing or promoting our own product or our own home is minimal. But what we will do is an amazing job marketing your home. And we can touch base a little bit on that as well. Didn't stage my house, lack of representation, poor negotiations. So all of these things, when we've set up our business, we use this top 20. So what can we do to ensure that those top 20 things never, ever happen to our clients? So there's a couple things we've done. We either have put a system in place or created a guarantee. So a simple one on poor communication, and I couldn't get a hold of my agent. Here's a commitment. If you call me, email me, or text me, I will respond to you within 4 business hours, or I'll pay you $100 every time it happens. That's not asking too much. That's a pretty good guarantee. And this is the big difference in what I believe. Like, lots of people will make promises, but I'm about guarantees. So if you guarantee something in writing, so the $100 just gets paid at closing, you just reduce your commission by $100. But you know what? It doesn't happen anymore because nobody wants to pay that $100. So I think 4 hours is a reasonable time. There is no reason why anybody can't respond to a client within 4 hours. You might be at a movie for 2 or 3 hours. If you're gone away, you have somebody cover you, and you should let your client know. If you're going to be gone more than 4 hours, your client should know that you're not going to be able to be reached, and this is the person you need to contact in that time. So that's just setting, like, that's the number one reason why people don't go back. Just implementing that one promise is already, or that one guarantee, not a promise, is going to already elevate you above and beyond. Promise to selling price far from reality. Same thing. You can put a guarantee in that if I don't get you this price, for every $10,000 it goes below, I'll reduce my commission by $400. You get to set the rules, but certainly you can do it. You can do the exact same with time frame. I'll sell your house in 30 days. For every week after that, I'll knock $1,000 off my commission, or 1% or whatever, like a dollar value that makes sense in your market. And these are all guarantees that you set the rules for. But just making idle promises, I think there is just such a huge distrust of realtors. I think realtors have had a bad rap and bad reputation, and we all know there are a lot of bad realtors out there. And so, yeah, how do we distinguish ourselves above and beyond? These are simple little things. And then again, just making sure you have the systems and processes or some kind of guarantee to make sure your clients don't ever have any of these experiences. And if they don't, like, ultimately, what do your clients want? They want you to find them the best house at the best price with the least amount of hassle, or sell their home for the best price with the least amount of hassle. It's as simple as that. It's not any more complicated than that. And paying attention to the details and taking care of your clients is what will set you apart. So again, this is back to what most realtors will do, right? They advertise themselves, not really the home. They'll bang a sign in your front lawn. They create an ad and maybe run it on social media. They'll put your listing on MLS. They encourage their office or their friends to show the house. They figure they might try an open house, and then they get on their knees and they pray that it's going to sell. That's the extent of the 90% of realtors that are out there. Oops. So again, most agents are just trying to do everything themselves, which is why teams have taken over, because We realized that when you're working as a solo agent, nobody is good at everything, right? So you might be really good at meeting with the clients and working with them, but you're not good at marketing. Or you're good at marketing and not meeting with your clients. Or you're good at marketing, but not the paperwork. So the good thing about being in a team or being not just being a solo agent is that you can help leverage that. Now, not to say that you can't be a solo agent, and there's tools, and certainly our brokerage, the way we've set up our brokerage is that even solo agents, we give them all the tools and the training and help them leverage technology to be more productive. So the way we sort of market our brokerage is that you get all the benefits of a team without the crazy team split. So, and again, what's the definition of a successful career? So having a steady stream of clients that you viewed by your clients as a professional with good advice. You're able to easily provide them superior service and results. You work normal hours, take plenty of time off to pursue other interests, and make a rewarding income. We all want to obviously make more money, but we don't want to have to give up our personal life or our family life. So being, really, we're entrepreneurs, right? We're running our own business. It can be tough to pull yourself out of it because there is no off switch. We're on 24/7. But it is really good to, and this is part of what I teach too, is about scheduling. Either you let your business run your life or you run your business. And that is so impactful when you learn how to schedule your time in a schedule and keep to it. And trust me, your clients are okay if you're not available at 3 o'clock in the afternoon because you have time blocked out to see your kid's sports event. They don't need to know. I'm with a client at 3 o'clock, but I can meet you at 5 o'clock. But making sure you have a really good schedule. And in that schedule, there's a couple things you need to do because it's the white space where there's nothing, that's where your time goes away. So make sure you're scheduling time to be working on your business and time to be working in your business. So right now, all of you took the time out to work on your business. So this is time about self-development, but it should be in your calendar every week. At least, I always say it's 80-20. 80% working in the business and 20% of your time you should be working on your business. So the old school mentality was grunt prospecting, cold calling, doing time in the office, working with clients you don't like because you have to, and wasting a ton of money on advertising. Like these are all common themes, and we've all done it. But the way that I've been coaching, the way we're working now, is about stop chasing prospects. Get them to reach out to you. So, we have a database of over 18,000 leads. Every single one of them has contacted us first. There hasn't been one lead that I bought or it came from another source. It was always from them reaching out to us through all different sources, whether it's our website, social media, pay-per-click, sign calls, open houses. But all of those people contacted us. We didn't contact them first. Yeah, I'll skip through this because we're going to run out of time. So the big thing for me is leveraging technology, right? So technology can be a game changer, and technology is changing so much. If you look at what's happening with AI right now. So one of the quotes that I saw that I really liked is, people are worried that AI is going to take over their jobs. The only people that AI is going to take their jobs over are the people not using AI. So it's like everything else, it's that paradigm shift. Like, yes, I might be afraid of it, and yes, it's different. But look, I'm 57 years old, and I'm learning how to use AI. you can ask my wife. We just created a prompt last Sunday. I had an open house. It was slow. I had a little bit of time. I thought, okay, I'm going to create a AI prompt that can go into Treb, remove the data, and give me a quick analysis of a specific market. So I just created a prompt that says, generate the year over year from September 2023 to September 2024 in Oakville using this data, and I just put the link in and present it as a percentage, whatever it is. And sure enough, wow, it worked. AI came back with the numbers. And I thought, okay, this is really cool. And I started doing it. It's like, okay, this is a pain, like doing one at a time. And then I realized, what if I just copy and paste all of the prompts? So we dropped it in today. Treb's Toronto Real Estate Board's numbers came out this morning. So my wife does the numbers for our newsletter. She just copied that link, dropped it, and in 2 seconds had all of the data for Oakville, Burlington, Halton Hills, and Milton in 5 seconds. And she's like, oh my God, all the time that we've been spending for the last, 15 years trying to go through data and manually doing it and all that, and now an AI can do it in 2 seconds. So that's where we could use the leverage, right? So now we have AI as a tool that's now freeing us up to do other things. So don't be afraid to use the technology that's out there and leverage it. AI is just one of them, but there's lots of great tools that honestly, like the real estate market has changed, even in the last year, has changed dramatically. I was saying, I think this morning I had another Zoom call. If I had the tools that I have right now, 3 years ago, oh my God, our business would be 300% better than we are right now. So I'm excited about where we're going, but it's also frustrating knowing that I now have tools that would not have allowed all those leads that slip through and deals that slip through and clients and everything else. We have tools now that can help us get through that. So that's pretty amazing. So here's a tool from Ylopo. Maybe put in the chat. Does anybody on here use Ylopo? So Ylopo is it's a website company, an IDX company. They do marketing and they also have technology. So Deja does, and you love the heat maps, right? So yeah, for me, this simple tool is so powerful and it's so easy to create. So literally all I have to do, and I can do this in a listing presentation right in front of my clients. And this is what I do. So in the back, there's some information. So you put in their address, it pulls it up. Put in how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms. You can put in square feet if you want, a range. You could put the price range in. So I usually do like a $200,000 or $300,000, like say between 1.2 and 1.5 million. And then, so from that, I just run this report and it prints out. So for this example, for our house, we have 805 people in our database right now actively looking at our house or in our area. That our house would match 805 people's criteria of our 18,000 leads. So what I say to them, like, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, this is going to sound crazy, but it's true. If a other realtor comes in here today, they say, as soon as you sign the paperwork, I'm going to start marketing your home. Well, what I know is in our database, the average person is between 12 and 18 months in our database before they make a purchase. So if they're starting to generate this, what's the chance that somebody is going to, that they're generating from their marketing is going to generate somebody to buy your house? You might not believe it, but for the last 3 years, I have been marketing your home. I attract buyers looking for a home. And so I can then go out and try to find sellers to match my buyer database. So these buyers are active, they're ready to go. If we sign the paperwork today, what's going to happen tomorrow morning? I'm going to reverse prospect. I'm going to take those 805 people and send your listing as a simple explanation, one photo, access to this property before it gets to MLS. So now I've solved a couple of issues. I've now obviously wowed my sellers, but I've also given benefit to my buyers where I said I could find them off market properties before they even hit the market. So you're creating, so what I've almost now call my my database, it's like a dating site. It's a match site. I'm finding a buyer and a seller and I'm introducing them to each other. So that's sort of the different language. And again, all of these little terminologies and these little cues make you stand out from everyone else because nobody else is going to be like almost no one is going to have this tool or the ability to be able to do it and speak to it the way we just spoke to it. So in marketing, so if you're running a Facebook ad, Facebook ads are interrupted marketing. So the ad, I always say, needs to be sexy. It needs to be something that's going to attract someone's eyes. So in our area, Mary, bungalow homes are huge in demand. Everybody's downsizing. They want to live on a single floor. For the Americans, that's ranch style house. We call them bungalows here. They want single floor living because it's an aging baby boomers market. In our area, there's no land. So nobody is building bungalow lots because every house is on now like a 35-foot lot. It's crazy. If you go to a building site, they call wide lots 40-foot lots now. 40-foot lots, crazy. It's so small, but that's now classified as a premium wide lot. But yeah, if you're going to build a bungalow, you're going to need a 75-foot lot. And the problem is they could put two-story houses and sell it for twice as much as one bungalow. So builders are not doing it. And then the other downside is that all the older homes, when they built bungalows in the 60s, are all being torn down and put McMansions on them because they're big lots. So what does the consumer want? Bungalow homes. Why? Because they can't find them. So at least attracting them. And the same thing, it is a very competitive market. If you don't have someone actively looking for you, there is another 1,000 people out there looking for that same home, which is why you need to be working with a realtor from day one. But attracting them with something visual, something that interrupts them, that's going to click on it, don't be selling your listing. Like that's the worst marketing you can do. Wow, the second worst. The worst marketing is, and everybody does it, and I see it all the time. If you're thinking about buying or selling, give me a call. That is not marketing. That is not marketing at all. That is such a weak reason for somebody to ever pick up the phone and call. Everything that you do needs to be, give them a reason to be contacting you. And everywhere possible now, we are making sure that we put in call or text. Because even getting the leads, it's just becoming harder and harder for all of us to reach them. So every chance you get, call or text, but give them a reason. Give them something that they need to call. And I had another Zoom call this morning talking about postcards. And same thing, if you do not have a website with lots of SEO and you're sending postcards out, I think you're marketing for somebody else, not for yourself. Because the majority of people now don't take that card and go to their computer and type in your name. No, if it's a listing, they type in the listing in Google. If it's an offer, they type the offer in Google. So if you're not ranking in Google, you're actually promoting other people that are ranking in Google. That's where they're going to go. So we've switched, and I see, our mailbox used to be full of real estate postcards and flyers, I would say, what are we, about 1/10 now? Yeah, 1/10 of what we were 3 or 4 years ago. As still, there's value to it. I just think you really need to make sure that you are ranking up high. Otherwise, you're just spending a lot of money. And I think there's better ways to market to get the business dollar for dollar anyway. Let's talk about some steps to succeed with your leads. So you have to get the prospects to raise their hands, identify themselves, and call you if you can. Like I said, we have a database of 18,000 leads. A database of 18,000 leads is great, but if you didn't have a way to sort them, it would be a phone book. It would be no different than going through the phone book to call people random. But we have with Ylopo really good tools that help people or help us identify the people that are most likely receptive to our call. And that's the goal, right? So, in a day, if you say, okay, I can make 125 dials today, who am I going to call? You want to call the people that you have the highest chance of succeeding and booking an appointment with. And that is, tools like people that have looked at the same listing 3 times or more, people that have come back 4 days in a row or more, people that came back to your website that hadn't been to your website in a long time. Yesterday, and this, Deja, if you got Ylopo too, I don't know if you see this, but every once in a while, we get bombarded with old leads coming back to the system. And it seems like it comes all in one shot. So yesterday, I had one that was 960 days old, one that was 880 days old, one that was 820 days old, and about 30 other leads or more between 30 days and 800 days old coming back to our website. So that's remarketing. That's getting our continually to send emails. The analogy I use with leads is it's follow up, follow up, follow up. So everybody, and I hear it all the time. Oh, the leads that this company is giving me is crap. The leads from here are no good. These leads are no. Leads are leads. It's your follow up that's not good. It's your system that's not good. It's not the leads. You have their contact information. So either you are not engaging them, you're not speaking to them the way that they want to be spoke to, you're not providing them the information that they want, or you're not following up at all. And the way I say it to our team is, it's last man standing. So a year and a half from now, like when you first get a lead in your system, they've probably clicked on 3 or 4 other ads. They've been looking, they're probably getting emails from everybody, and they're not responding to you because they're getting lots of contact. But a year and a half from now, if you're still reaching out to them and you've had contact with them and you're giving them value, sending them the newsletters, sending them with a follow-up campaign, sending them listings on a slower pace, and realize when they come back, now's the time I need to reach out to them, they actually appreciate it. How many times I see in notes, oh, thanks for the follow-up. Thanks for reaching back out again. So last man standing, you got to follow up. We've had leads that are 4 years in our system before they buy. So that's just a picture of our search site. It's our landing page. Okay, so here's a couple other things like guarantees or ways to stand out. Buy this house, we'll buy yours. It's a way that catches eyes, but what you're offering in this situation, if they're going to buy with you, you're going to guarantee the sale of their home. And we can go, I'm not going to go into detail on it. It's complex and it's safe if you do it right. And it doesn't have to be like the majority of times people aren't going to use it anyway. But there are some situations where it works for them and and it's a way to get more commission. So for our, if we're doing the guaranteed sale, Deja, you want to ask a question? Great, yeah, go ahead.
Do you have the cash offers in Canada with Zudilio?
Yeah, no, we do it. I have to do it manually. So yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna put that into the screen, but okay. So here's an example how to present cash offers in the US. I don't know if you're doing this, but what I've done is when I'm doing a listing presentation, regardless of who it's for, I provide them with 4 different options, actually 5 different options. Here's a cash offer price. Here's a cash offer buyback price, which is a little bit complicated. It's somebody that has at least 25% equity in your house.
Okay.
And it's an investor, right? So the investor buys the house, and then we sell it again as quick as we can after we've renovated it. The buyer gets a straight, say, 7% of his investment for a 6-month investment, which is like a 14% return. And then the buyer, you get a buy and a sell commission. And then what we do is after all of the expenses, if there's any money left after paying everyone, the homeowner gets it. So it's a way to get a little bit more than the cash offer. They just don't, they only get their 25% money up front. The rest that has to be held, or sorry, they get 75% up front. 25% is held in trust, and we use that 25% for renovations and then to pay everybody out. And then whatever's left goes back to them. But typically, like hoarders or somebody who's living in a old house, it's a great way for them to get more money out of their house.
Yeah.
So that's another option. A lease back is another option. Have an investor buy it and rent it back to them. The situation we have is that they can live in that house 3 years rent free.
Wow.
So yeah, so the buyer then actually can buy the house with no money down. So if he puts 20, it's about 20% of the 3 years is about 20% of the value of the house. So that 20% can come to him as the down payment. So an investor can buy a home with a 80% mortgage, 20% cash from the buyer, and then rent it out to him for free. So he's got to carry a mortgage and taxes for 3 years. But after that, he now has a home that he didn't pay $1 for. Or if the homeowner wants to stay. So there's people that don't want to move out of their existing house, but they can't afford it.
Fine.
So it's almost like the what's the mortgages that they're offering now? The companies that buy or give you the equity for your house, and it's the same thing. They don't have to pay it back until the house sells. It's just, and then so the fourth way is that we list it. And then the fifth way is we listed at our guaranteed price. So all of them are a little bit better, but that is now providing a solution for any seller in any situation. It doesn't matter what their situation is, we've provided a solution. And whether, like the majority of times, you're going to present this to a seller that just wants the best value, but their jaw has just dropped because you just explained all the different solutions that we have that nobody else offers.
Right.
It's a way of standing out again to be like, you know what, this guy or lady is doing way more than any other realtor that I've spoke to. All they talked about is my price.
Right.
Right. But the cash offer, there's people that obviously it's going to be less, but the cash offer is, look, I need to sell my house in 30 days. It's better than the bank taking it.
Well, I just started to utilize it, and I just did my first mailing, and I didn't get anything from it, so I was surprised.
So yeah, my experience is So you got to be careful with cash offers. Don't put it in emails. Don't put it in your text messages because that's a spam identifier.
Yeah,
You put cash offer in your email header, it's going to go to spam, like almost guaranteed. So you got
yeah.
to
I
be
did a
careful.
mailing.
Yeah.
I did like a neighborhood mailing, like the Every Door direct mail, and that
So
usually is a pretty good hit for me. But I didn't get anything on this one,
I
so
think
we'll
we've
see.
all like, yeah, everybody I've talked to has realized that it's a very expensive lead generation tool.
Yeah.
But it's a good offer. Like I have it on our website. Like you don't need to go over the top with it. But it's a tool to get other listings. Like I always, for me, it wasn't, I don't really want to deal with the cash offers, but okay, I could. The deal is that it gets me, somebody questions it because we can offer in Canada. There's 15 companies in Ontario that offer cash offers. So what I did is I contacted each of them, signed a non-disclosure agreement with them that if I send them a listing or an address, they can't talk to them for 90 days. And I can't share their prices with anybody else. And so, like I said, at the end of the day, I'm giving you business. You're not paying for it. So it's a mutually beneficial situation. You just need to give me an offer back in 24 to 48 hours. And most of them can. So,
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I'm learning about it as I go, so it's new.
right. And again, it's about, it's a new tool, but then how do we leverage those tools? So the first thing I remember, like Canada didn't have it. Oh, that would never work in Canada. Everybody said, "Oh, that doesn't work." No, nobody's going to do it. It works wonderful.
As it usually goes.
Yeah. It doesn't work because people don't want to change or they don't want to be different or afraid of how to be even present it. But like either you talk to somebody about it that's done it, or try to figure out a way because there wasn't anybody in Canada when I started cash offers. I just heard about it in the US and I was like so envious. I was like, there's got to be a way. So I started Googling them. I found them out there. And then I started contacting them and yeah, they're okay. So what's the framework going to look like? And we created our own cash offer system. So
Works good for me.
It's just an example of our sign. So having your home sold guaranteed as a rider, it just tweaks interest. Yeah, again, it's deep to all the details to how to get into it. If you're not careful, you can get yourself in trouble. But it's certainly the big thing that we're offering is solving a solution. Again, it's the catch-22. What do I do? Do I buy first or do I sell first? If I buy first and I can't sell my house, then I'm going to get stuck with two houses. If I sell first, and what if I can't find the house that I want? So our solution is, look, you can buy a house first. I will give you this amount of money guaranteed, which is about a little bit above what a cash offer would be. And then minus my commission, my full commission. And this would be the price that you would get. This is going to help you net. No, this is the worst case scenario. Can you still afford this house? Yes. Okay, then we can proceed and we'll go out and we can buy this house. Now you can put an offer in, not conditional of the sale of your home. So, I have two, I just closed one. But the good thing is I get extra commission out of it. They're willing to pay the extra commission because there's people out there that want that. They don't want the worry. But you just need to know the market and the price it, right? Like that's, at the end of the day. And the other good thing is if they take the guaranteed sale, then you've already laid out what the price reductions are over time. So you don't have to go back and have it. They know. I just had a call today. We have to do a price reduction. Okay, we went from here. The next one, it says 2 weeks. If we haven't sold it, we need to go to here. Next one's 30 days. Then we really need to go down. I've got 70 days total to sell this house. So the way it works is that I have given them an offer irrevocable to the day before their new home closes. And then at that point, I have an 89-day carryover. So they can have a bridge mortgage for 89 days to carry it, and I can still sell it. So I have like 129 days to sell this house. If I'm 7% below market value, minus my 5.5% commission, if I can't sell a house 12.5% below market value, I'm in the wrong business. So the worst case is in that situation, like I'll never own it because I'm always going to sell the paperwork even. The worst case is I won't make any money on the sale, but I've already made money on the buy. If you're interested in more, we can, it's a lot more complicated. There's a lot of things that you need to go through. It's too much to be talking about here, but so yeah, then we do videos for our clients. What do our guarantees mean? We have a whole list of guarantees, time frame guarantee, our presentation guarantee. So if I provide any information that isn't true, or they can prove that it isn't my, if I say I sell homes 5% above the market average, if they can prove that is wrong, then I donate $5,000 to our charity. Oh my God. Okay, let me see if this will play from here. How am I going to play it? Oh, it's a slide.
My fault.
Okay, it's okay. I have a good video. Maybe I can send it as a link later on. So certified pre-owned home has been killing it. It's such an amazing tool. So what a certified pre-owned home is very similar to a certified pre-owned car. If you bought a BMW from a BMW dealership, you're going to get it inspected. It's going to come with a warranty, and BMW offers a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not happy with the car within 30 days, you can drive it back and they'll take it back. So that's what we formed this certified pre-owned home from. So what we do is we do a home inspection first. We either disclose or fix anything that we've found within the home inspection. I purchase a 1-year home warranty for the buyer, and I also give a satisfaction guarantee to the buyer. If they're not happy with their home, I'll buy it back or sell it for free. So a couple things. So, when I'm presenting it to my seller, they love it, but I'm saying, look, like if you bought a used car from Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace, or from a BMW dealership, which do you think you'd pay more for? The BMW dealership. And why? It's simple because it's the same car, but you have a feeling that like you're protected and that you know what you're getting. Why isn't it the same with a house? You're buying a house, but you don't know what you're getting. You're not getting a warranty. You're not getting satisfaction guarantee. What if I don't like it? So we offer this now on almost every listing. Couple things that's really good about it is it allows an offer to come in without the condition of home inspection because it's already completed. So our home inspector does a full home inspection and also does a revisit with the new buyer to go through everything that they've talked through. He spends like a half an hour going through and giving some advice on things to maintain, stuff to watch out for, money to budget for the next 5 or 10 years. The roof's 10 years out, you need to start budgeting for that. The 1-year warranty we purchase from a warranty company, it's $795 out of our pocket. And then the satisfaction guarantee is the same thing that I give to my buyers, that if they're not happy in their home, I'll buy it back or sell it for free. The conditions are they have to buy a home of equal or greater value. So it's not about that they can't afford it, but it's okay. They got transferred. As long as I can get the buy side, it will work. So yeah, that's been working great. The advantage of it is, guess who I have as a new client?
Fire.
because we leave the home inspection, the 1 year home warranty plus all the satisfaction guaranteed information with all of our information there. So a year and a half from now, or even 5 years from now, who do you think they'll probably end up calling? Their original realtor or the one who gave them all of this great stuff?
Mark, what does that home warranty cover?
So yeah, it covers all your appliances, HVAC, electrical, plumbing. Yeah, I think that's it for the 1 year.
Okay.
Sort of like anything else we're going to find in a home inspection anyway, right? Like, so yeah, it's there's only one company in Canada that does the home the home warranties. There is a better company in the US that's looking at buying out the Canadian company, and hopefully, if they do, they're doing it much better in the US. In the US, it's much more common, the home warranty, than it is here. But it's another thing you can offer your buyers too, right? So if like these are things about being different, and it's about you have these as backup that if they're having objections and you can't overcome them, then you know what? How about I offer you when no other realtor is going to offer you? I'm going to offer you a free 1 year home warranty if you purchase with me. You know, all these like there are things to keep. You just release them when you need to. Same with the cancellation guarantee. If it's really objection, I don't want to sign it with anyone. But the way we do our presentation is we go through it, and one of the last questions we ask is, you're going to get all this stuff. The only thing we ask for is your loyalty. Can we have your loyalty? And they almost always will say yes. Then if you present the buyer representation agreement, well, you said you like all this is putting it in writing. You said you were going to be loyal. You're already committed to that. But most of the time, if they've already committed, we don't have an issue after that. I know we're just about out of time. Other thing to add is referrals. So how to attract referrals. Like we're a firm believer of being part of our community. As a business owner, we need to give back to our community. So our charity of choice is the Whole Women's Place, shelter for abused women and children. I've been a part of it since I was 18. So it's a charity that we have a good affiliation with. I'm on the board for their Hope in High Heels walk coming up in November. And so what I do is if anybody refers me, so in Canada, you can't pay out. I can't give you a referral fee to anyone that isn't a realtor. But what I say is, look, if you give me a referral, if you were a realtor, I would pay you 25%. If I was acquiring you from leads and everything else, it costs me about 25% to get a new client. That 25% for me is already written off. So if you give me a referral, I'm going to donate 25% of my commission for that referral to charity. And not only is that going to make you feel good, they're going to get the best customer service. You know that your clients are going to be, or your friends are going to be well served. So there's 3 pillars in real estate on how to get business, right? One is your sphere and people you know. The other is people you don't know. And the third is getting business from your existing business. All 3 of those, I call them the stool. All 3 of them have to be good. I would say most realtors are only good at 1 or 2 of them. And that's why you go through the roller coaster of being really busy and then being really slow, because guaranteed always one of those 3 is drying up. Like if you're just relying on your sphere, there is no way to predict that. You can't tell when people are going to move. You might get 3 and then you not get any for 2 years. Lead generation, it's a little bit more level, but again, it's up and down. And then the third is getting more business from your exist. So for every buyer, you need to either get another buyer from that buyer or another seller from that buyer. Same thing with a listing. If you have a listing, you should be getting a buyer or two or another listing. So having systems, and that's what I'm all about, is having a system for each of those pillars and constantly improving on it, making it better, making it better, making it better. And that's where putting your time into your schedule is what things am I going to implement for my business. So you're not working in your business all the time, you're working on improving your business. Yeah, that's just about our brokerage. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've had today. There's lots of nuggets there. I hope you wrote some of these things down. Yeah, look, at the end of the day, this business, the majority of realtors are just saying the same thing and presenting the same, and their postcards are the same. And like putting a postcard out with a listing, to me, is just a big waste of money. You're never going to get any, like the chance that you're going to get anything back. Now, sending out a postcard with an offer, or talking about your certified pre-owned home, or offering something completely different, is going to get people to call you. But this is where I said, if you don't have the keywords in certified pre-owned home, if you go into Google and you type in certified pre-owned home, and another agent comes to the top of the list and you're not even on it, then you're going to be advertising for the other company. So, knowing what your keywords are, and if you're going to use a certified pre-owned program, then make sure your website's keywords have certified pre-owned or home, or a combination of those, constantly being reinforced to get you, because it's a little bit of an easier. Home is a difficult keyword to rank on. Certified isn't that bad. There's not a lot of people looking for certified, a lot of people using certified as a keyword they would. So even in your marketing, if you can identify your offer as a keyword that's low, it will help you in your using it in SEO in your website. It's going to help you rank better. Okay, I'm open to questions. Thank you, everybody. Mary, Leah, Nazarene, I think, I don't know who else is done. Deja left. So Deja is actually one of my coaching students. So yeah, if you're interested in coaching, I have a completely different model for coaching. I offer it as, oh yeah, that's right. And yeah, whoever's left has a draw. So what we do is we put, or how I do it is I sell them in groups as either 5 or 10 classes. You can use them over your time. They're 45-minute sessions. I have 62 individual sessions to go through, but it's totally adaptable. You just book it in my Calendly whenever you want. You can use 10 in 4 weeks, or you can use 10 in 10 months. There's no other fees. It's just straight up Zoom call, 45 minutes. Couple things that I do ask that you complete. I want to know what your big why is and sort of an overview of your business. So then I can help you figure out maybe what's the best place. Where are you stuck? Where do you need help? What things can elevate your business, much faster than trying to figure it out on your own. So, yeah, and then if anybody in Ontario, our brokerage, anybody in Ontario can be in our brokerage. We're in Oakville, but yeah, with the way it works now, if you look at EXP is just one brokerage for all of Ontario. So we sort of follow that adage. We do, we do meet in Oakville once in a while. We have working lunches, and we can do that because I believe working in real estate is a very lonely business. So yeah, and what's great about our brokerages, we're all here to help each other. It's not I've been in brokerages and big brokerages where, like I said before, it's like the people that are doing really well don't ever say anything because they're afraid they're going to steal your business. But that's not the model of our brokerage. And I literally have no problem firing agents. If they don't fit our culture, they're not going to work here. Most brokerages will take anybody that fogs the mirror with their breath. So, okay, I guess there's just 3 people. Do you want to write down all 3 names and all? Well, yeah, Nazreen, Leah. Well, no, I'm not going to get so Nazreen and Mary. Nazreen, are you here? Just so I can maybe unmute your mic for a sec.
Oh, yes, I'm here. I'm just driving, but I can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay. Awesome. So I'm going to put your name in the draw too for 1 free coaching session. So.
And Mark, you use YLOPO for Canada for your website?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So actually, I work really closely with YLOPO because I'm sort of their Canadian conduit, I guess.
Ambassador.
Whatever. Yeah, as they release stuff, I make sure that it's going to work or help them figure out how it works in Canada. Yeah, there's a ton of things that do work now. Their seller program, I've been beta testing it. We got a couple little things to get out, but that seller package allows, so the heat map I showed you is it's the same thing. A seller can then on their own in your website enter in their address, some basic information. And I can show you, whoever does it, I show you how you can get their market value, the upper range, lower range, and range, and then how many bedrooms and all that, they fill that in. It will create a heat map from your database and give them what their value of their house is. And it sends it to them every month. So not only do they see almost all, there's lots of programs out there that will send their market value right now, but that's it.
Yeah.
I love this, that it actually shows, look, we have actually buyers ready to buy your house right now. Like that to me that's a game changer that nobody else has to offer. So that's why I love YLOPO. I think their technology, like their AI voice now. So I have an AI making phone calls for us.
Wow.
And transfers the calls to us.
That's amazing.
Hi, this is Raya Voice. I have a call to transfer you. Their name is so and so. This is how you spell it. I'm going to transfer the call to you now. And all of a sudden, I have a live lead that I just generated that I didn't have to make the phone calls for. They're now actually, they're calling me. So, okay, I'm going to reach in. We'll see. That one, okay. And it is Nazreen. Congratulations, Nazreen. Yeah, just send me a message. I'll send you an email and a link to my calendar, and you can book a free 45-minute coaching session. And Mary, I'm going to send you a link. Everybody that's on it, I always send the recording out and then links to the coaching. So the one thing, so I do. What's unique about our coaching is obviously that it's sort of a la carte. There's no long-term relationship. I'm a firm believer. If we work for each other, then we're going to continue on based on that. But the other, no, I lost the train of thought. That I'm releasing an AI coaching tool. So I have the software. It's going to be an app, and I've been training it in my spare time. All of my coaching material. So ultimately, it's going to be a situation where you can go into the app every day, what's working, what isn't working, and it will give you some advice. So it's more just like an added feature on top of the regular coaching. But that's going to be pretty cool. I'm quite excited about it. It's really smart. AI is crazy. Mary, do you have any other questions you want to go into? And anything else? Are you good?
What are your fees for the coaching, or is that something that
Yeah, it's on the website. I'll send you.
the website?
And
Okay.
it's the most reasonable for sure of anybody out there. So, Nazarene, do you have anything else before we end?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, and Leah, I don't know if you have anything.
No, I'm good. Thanks.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming. And yeah, give me
Thank
your
you.
feedback. I do this every month. So the last 3 have been about tech, about AI, about tech stack. I thought I would go in a little bit of a different direction. And I knew it wouldn't be as big of a turnout, but I think which is fine. The people that spent the time here learned something, and hopefully it will help their business and get them to be that little bit different and stop putting. If you're thinking about buying and selling, give me a call. And there's never like, oh, yeah, 80% of real estate marketing, it says that. Yeah, it's beyond me, but that's the way it is. Thanks so much. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Well,